Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Imagine boarding a cruise for a blissful time in paradise and your 18-year-old not coming home alive. That is what happened to 18-year-old Anna Kepner over this past weekend, and we are going to dive into it after I get to say hi to my friends. First of all, congratulations to one of our dear friends in the chat today, Whispering Winds, who will be getting married Saturday. Our hearts, our thoughts will be with you. We are covering this case today rather than me jumping on for Unplugged. I could have done this on Unplugged, but I just wanted to get this out there. It is a developing story. I wanted to say hi. Hi, Minnie, Whispering Winds, who's also going by Be Kind. Thank you for being here to mod. Minnie, please be careful. Cece, I started a couple minutes early, Cece. I'm just saying hi to everyone. So Jules DeCali, hello, my friends. Hi, Janet. I have another live coming on tonight, Summer Wells. Absolute trigger warning, some information from a neighbor. We need to talk about it. It will be tonight, and it's probably going to be a little bit longer because there's a lot to unwrap. Hello, Shadows in the Dark. Janet, Jules, Cece, thank you for coming in. Tonight will be Summer Wells, but I wanted to let you all know hi, YouTuber. It's always so good to see all of you. Been off few days. My bestie flew into town. We used to teach together 15 years ago. She flew into town to see my new digs where I was living, and we had just a wonderful time. I showed her the mountains. We hiked a national forest. We went to 2 state parks, one of which is Antelope Island, which if you've been out here or you don't know, Antelope Island is a state park where the bison roam free. And we went there and saw the bison roaming free. Just amazing. We found out that bison, because of course, what did Jaye have to do? Get out of her car to look at them. I'm an adventurous. And we found out they run 40 miles an hour. They can change directions in a second, and they can jump 8 feet in the air. So after that, we stayed in the car a little bit. We saw some mule deers. Just has been a lot of fun exploring. We did try and do a hike in a national forest, which was really funny because I told you guys I went on a hike about a week ago and went for 30 minutes and ended up there for an hour and a half. It was just so gorgeous with the creeks. My dogs, we walked through the creeks, watched the leaves, played with the leaves, threw them in the air. Well, this time I took her to a different one, and we wanted to go see this hike because it is called the Car Cemetery Hike. As you climb up the mountain, on the side of the mountain, you're supposed to see a whole bunch of cars from the 60s and 70s that had gone over the mountain, and they've never gotten them off the mountain. But we didn't make it up that high because it was at such an incline. We both literally did not make it that far. We turned around, but we were proud we tried. So next time, that's my goal. I'm making it up to where I can see the cars and the waterfall. And the waterfall is supposed to be really fun because it's kind of treacherous. So if you want to go to the waterfall, you have to hold a rope. That's just my kind of thing, you all. Hold a rope to try and get to it and slide down, kind of like a slide rock. So I'm really excited to make it to that part. So I put my friend on a plane yesterday, and here I am today with my wonderful community of true crimers, seeing that we've got one of my dear friends getting married Saturday. I'm so pleased, so happy. And I wanted to greet all of you. And as we have exciting things coming into our life with the holidays, remember that they're hard for people, right? They can be hard for people. Oh, YouTuber, there is so much to do here. I'm just absolutely constantly in awe of exploring here. And I'm ready for the slopes to open. We've got the Sundance Film Festival coming out here end of January, beginning of February. Robert Redford, who is one of the founders of that film festival that's in Park City, passed away a couple of months. So there's going to be it's going to be a big Sundance, and celebrities everywhere. You can buy tickets to the films if you want one film at a time, which is the only affordable way, because otherwise it's like 2,000 to 5,000 if you want the packages. But you can get tickets for $36, so we'll probably go up there. There's just a lot of really fun stuff to do. There's the bobsled adventure up there from when the Olympics was here, the Winter Olympics. That's $250, but that's something we're going to save to go do when she comes out here next. So there's just a lot to do, and I'm really enjoying it and love the outdoors. I'm not one who likes to sit indoors, but I'm just enjoying the fall weather. So are my doggies, by the way. We actually took them to the lake over the weekend because I wanted her to see the one lake that's a mile away. Took them to the lake, and my goodness, y'all, I didn't expect them to jump in and start swimming. It's a little chilly out, but they did. So we ended up at the portable dog showers after that. So it's just been kind of a fun week. My brother actually just got back from Nashville area. So we've all been kind of doing our own thing. My niece, I think, went to Salem to do like a little witch trial tour with one of her best friends. So, but as everyone's coming into the holidays, I want to remind you, as we did last year, hi, Deanna, as we did last year, I'm going to still be spending time with you on those holidays because they are lonely. They can be lonely for many. So just know, I can't tell you what times it'll be, but know that you'll see me like you did last year, Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, Christmas, New Year's, and I'll do my little pop in so I can spend some time with my true crime family. So let's go ahead and get into Miss Anna Kepner, rest in peace. She was 18 years old and a high school senior, preparing to graduate in May and join the military. Oh, Maria S., thank you for your support for 6 months. Y'all, we need to get that membership built up. We're starting our memberships again this Saturday. We're going to talk cases, and I'm going to show you pictures from the area. Maria says, hi, Jay, love being here. We appreciate all you do. Thank you, Maria S., and thank you for supporting the channel and your very kind words. And no, I appreciate you too. And everyone, be sure you welcome Maria to our family. Thank you for joining us. So Anna was going to graduate in May. She was going to join the military. Anna was a straight A student and a cheerleader at her high school. She was very active as a young girl, enjoyed being active and still did. And people said she was just very friendly and welcoming to everyone. Thank you so much. Be kind to everyone. Whispering Winds, Donna Z, for gifting a Crime Time membership and growing this family. And please thank Whispering Winds if you received that wonderful gift. Thank you, Whispering Winds. Be kind to everyone. So she approaches the cruise and she picks it up she gets on the cruise in Miami. Now, for those of you who have not cruised before, Miami is one of the cruise ports. She's from Titusville, Florida. Okay, Brevard County. She got on, let me finish this out. She got on with, I know her grandparents and her father were on the ship with her. What I do know, and I'm going to give you what happened, and then we're going to go backwards a little bit. What happened is what I've heard from the different reports, and there are not many details out there. The FBI got on the ship in Miami as everyone was getting off to investigate. Now, Carnival Cruise, the Carnival Horizon is the ship that she was on. They said FBI always investigates when we have a death on board. We're going to look into that a little bit because I've looked at kind of when they investigate when there's a cruise ship, because a lot of times the local authorities take over. So interesting, the FBI is investigating. But I did see one that says if it's a US citizen on board, yes, they will come on. But I saw several that said it needed to be suspicious death, most likely, or foul play for the FBI to get involved. Otherwise, the locals get involved. Now, you remember when we did Unplugged with Where is Amy Bradley, who went missing on a cruise ship in 2014, I believe. She went missing on the ship. Sorry, friends, it's my brother. She went missing on the ship, and we covered that case as well. And don't miss on, let me see what day, we are going to do an update on Amy Bradley, who is still missing. But the family, after releasing the Netflix documentary that we watched, I recommended, you all watched, and then we did, hi, Raymond, and then we did our Unplugged about Amy's case. That Netflix documentary has generated so many leads. Her family is very, very hopeful, and also hopeful she's alive still. As you know, in that documentary, there were alleged sightings of Amy. So look for that one this week. It is going to be, sorry, I'm trying to get my schedule in front of you. Also for Amy's going to be Friday during Unplugged at noon around this time. Okay. Because her brother's been doing some shows. I've been taking notes because I wanted to bring to you what they are actually doing. The reason I brought out Amy is both these girls were on cruise ships, of course. But remember, Amy's ship went to Curacao. And that is where this ship was going, where Anna Kepner died. Not that there's a reason, not that Curacao, something happened, about Curacao. I'm just saying I found it was interesting when I went to look up the itinerary of where the Horizon went last week. I found out it was not the Western Caribbean, it was the Southern Caribbean. And that hits Curacao, where Amy Bradley went missing. So let me share a little bit of information that I do know. What we know is that it started Friday night. Whatever happened to Anna, however she passed away, happened Friday night. They were scheduled to come back into port on Saturday into Miami, which they did. However, they were a few hours delayed because of what was going on, getting into the port. But they got back as planned. FBI boarded as passengers got off. What I do know is Friday night after this occurred, I listened to a lady who was living or staying in a cabin 2 doors away from Anna. She just assumed Anna was really sick, that there had been a sickness. No one mentioned a death. They had heard a medical call. No one heard the death. They had heard a call for medical. And then after that, from Friday night till they arrived in port Saturday, they had security standing outside Anna's room. So that stopped me in my tracks for a second, and I had to do some looking into things. What I found out is there is pretty much a morgue on every ship. Now, I've gone on 5 cruises, and it never once dawned on me there was a morgue on ship with me. So I'm assuming because they must not have been with her, or no one must have seen the death, the cause of death, how it happened, the manner. And so I'm assuming until they got to authorities, they protected it in case it would be a crime scene, right? And I'm assuming her body went to the morgue and they guarded the room till they got to authorities. There were close to 4,000 people that fit on the Horizon. There was a staff of about 1,450 people. So we're talking about 5,500 people were on that ship. The Carnival has made a statement that they are working to support the family. That's their role now, to support the family of their guest. And if we have any questions from this point on, we are to direct them to the FBI. The FBI got on and was interviewing passengers and looking into the death. They have not released any other information. One thing I thought interesting, because we had grandparents on board and her father. One thing I find very interesting is that Her family wants to know what happened. They are looking for answers. So they were on board with her. They're healthy 18-year-old. She's a cheerleader. She's active. She's going into the military. So we know if you're going to, I don't know if she's already had been recruited, done her physicals, but if you're going in the military, you have to have a certain level of health about you, right? Stamina, health, physicality. For those of you who have been in the military, you know. So I'm wondering what occurred. And so is her family. Her school is a private school in Titusville, and her car, they had her car in the parking lot over the weekend, and that was where everyone was putting flowers and balloons as a memorial to Anna Kepner, 18 years old. Rest in peace, Anna. So it has rocked their community. The family wants answers. They do not know. It's unclear how Anna passed away. We don't know where on the ship Anna passed away. I'm assuming, hear my word, I'm assuming that she passed away in her room, since they guarded that room almost like, just in case it were a crime scene. But she is from Central Florida. Now, they said for maritime law, maritime means if you're on the waters, because remember, you're like a traveling city when you're on a cruise. And one thing that was brought out in the Amy Bradley documentary is you're on this huge city with over 5,000 people, but all that is protecting the city as far as law enforcement is your security. Not that they're not doing their jobs, but imagine, a big city traveling, and they said, when a crime happens, you've got the cruise security. But they said in maritime law, the FBI comes in if there's a death or a crime or a theft over a certain amount of money, if a U.S. citizen is involved. Like I said, I read a little bit different things. I did read that local authorities take over unless it's suspicious or foul play or a theft of a lot of money. But now we just have to kind of ride this out a little bit. I'll dive into a little more research, see if I can get further as far as, do they always go investigate the FBI waiting for the ship to hit the port? Or do they let the locals do it and the locals call in, which is call the FBI if they think it's suspicious or foul play? That's what I had heard, other than this statement from Carnival. So she went to Temple Christian Academy, Anna did. And the school is offering counseling for all the seniors because she was a senior, and they're to call the office if they need counseling. They went from the Miami to the Caribbean is what the reports said. Now, what I can tell you is I've identified the route. I've identified the route that they took her on. Let me get us there, because the cruise ships have their itineraries up, right? So, like, if I'm booking a cruise or you're booking a cruise, you can go see their itineraries. And so you'll still be able to track an itinerary from last week, which I did. Last week, the Carnival Horizon was in the Southern Caribbean, and it took off from the port of Miami for an 8-day round-trip cruise that departed on November 8th and was scheduled to end on November 16th. And it did indeed come back on the 16th. Its current location was in the Caribbean Sea. It was heading toward Aruba. And I believe its final destination was in Aruba. So when they came back, the last place they had been was Aruba and traveling to Miami. They usually have a day at sea as you're get back to your port. And here it is. Yes. So here was their itinerary. They were 8 nights, left from Miami, which we knew, fun day at sea as they're traveling to Aruba. Oh, that wasn't their last site. Now get this one. Second stop was Curacao. Curacao is where Amy Bradley, she died when she was found missing on her ship. They were approaching Curacao. So I found it really interesting that we're on the same Caribbean cruise itinerary, different ships though, different carriers too. So they went to Curacao, then Bonaire, if I'm saying that right, then 2 days at sea and into Miami. So they were at sea Friday night on their way back to Miami when she passed away. Hi, Cooper. Hey, Raymond. You off work for your several months now? Yes, Whispering Winds. What would you like us to call you now? Do you want us to call you Whispering or Be Kind? Or I know you changed your handle. She had her whole life ahead of her, Cooper. Ready to join the military, a straight A student, a senior, graduating in May, cheerleader in high school. They said she's very generous and kind, and you're not without a friend when she was around. Very interesting. Went to Temple Baptist Church, attended the Temple School. She was on board with her father, her grandparents, and other family members. Just heartbreaking. And with an 18-year-old, I think a lot of our minds go, if she's a cheerleader, she's active, she's 18. They were guarding the room, right? It's not like she fell on the deck and hit her head. So it makes me wonder what happened. Was it a natural death? Was it an accidental death? Are we going to hear something else? I don't know. But I just found it coincident, not interesting. There's no connection, but coincidental that, again, we're talking about the Curacao cruise. So it's very heartbreaking, you all. And her name again is Anna. I want to go back to her picture so we remember her. Now, you all, one thing I found out, and I sent myself the article, and I want to get it off my thing. I had no idea there was a morgue, which makes sense now, right? Hold on. It says if a M occurs on a cruise, and we don't know that this is a M, if an M occurs on a cruise, the body is moved to the ship's morgue for preservation. And the next port of call is notified to handle the investigation and repatriation of the body. The authorities at the next port take charge of the situation, and arrangements are made for the body to be transferred to the onshore authorities with the help of the cruise line and potentially the deceased's family. They did show pictures of them coming off of the cruise ship with her on a stretcher in a BB body bag. So very, very sad. So the ship's security then will secure the cabin. Okay. Now remember what I just was reading you. If a red rum occurs on a cruise, here's what happens. The security secures the cabin, and in shipboard inquiry may begin. The authorities at the next port of call are notified. So were they guarding her room? Was security guarding her room? Like it says here, if there's an M on board, they guard it to preserve it. I don't know that answer. But it makes me wonder, because when you look into what are the normal things, right? It makes you wonder, how do they do things? And so they do guard the room if there's an M on board, but that doesn't mean there was an M for Anna. I'm just reading about it. So it says cruise ships are often compared to small cities. I don't know if they have released very little, Cooper. I will look again after this article to see if we know. It said she was with her father, her grandparents, and other family members, and that's really what we were told. Cruise ships are small, or are often compared to small cities, and they are so large, there is often too much to uncover in a week's time, and many places people aren't aware exist. on a cruise. Did you know they have a jail on a cruise? I did not. They call it the brig. They also have, and they go in the brig, a passenger will go in the brig if they commit a serious offense, belligerence, violence, being belligerent or violent. A minor offense will not land you in the brig. But if you find yourself in the brig, you can expect to be forcibly removed at the next port, even if that's not your final destination. And then you deal with that port's local authorities. And you have to find your way back home, your own penny. They also have a morgue. Cruise lines are in the business of being proactive, and this is one of the many ways they go about exercising that protocol. Well, nobody has a desire to discuss death while on vacation. It is necessary reality to be prepared for under all circumstances. All ocean-going cruise ships are legally required to have a morgue and to carry body bags on board. Most of the morgues are small, with rooms for 3 to 6 bodies, depending on the overall size of the vessel. Now, because there's a lot of passengers who are elderly, that is usually what it is used for. But there are times they have something nefarious or accidental happening. They also have hidden pools for the staff, right? Because the staff is not supposed to mingle with the guests. So they have hidden pools for the staff, the crew members. Surprisingly, there are actually several decks on the lowest levels of the vessels designated for just crew members that guests never have access to. So they have hidden decks. Speaking of these hidden decks, you'll find a lot more than rows of interior cabins for crew members. As stated, the crew is typically working aboard for months. So they have lots of areas for them. You'll find, and passengers can't go in there, they have their own bars. The crew has their own restaurants and recreation and lounge areas, and they have their hidden pools. They call their bar often the OB, meaning the officer's bar. And rumor is drinks are a lot cheaper. If you ever been on a cruise, get the drink package because it's $1 bazillion for one of their little fruity floof drinks. They also have special suites for the wealthy, larger staterooms for the wealthy that aren't usually advertised in the normal prices, and folding machines. I thought this was really interesting for their laundry facilities and stuff. So there's a lot going on in this big city that we don't know about, but there's just not that law enforcement. You just have cruise security. Cruise security. So when we were watching about Amy Bradley, they said, remember that Amy Bradley's I lost my train of thought, excuse me. I've lost my train of thought, excuse me. But this young lady now, I'm going to Google right now and see if we have any updates on her family or anything, because I prepared this for you all last night. Let's see if we have any updates on Anna Kepner. No more. Oh, goodness. According to public records, the Miami-Dade Medical Examiner's Office determined that Anna Kepner died on Friday morning. So we have a little information. She died Friday morning. Oh, boy. Now, it says in this article, the FBI took over since the death happened at sea. The cruise company saying the death of a guest traveling on the Carnival Horizon voyage that returned to Port Miami on Saturday morning is being investigated by the FBI. The statement read, since this is an ongoing matter, Oh, wait a minute. I grabbed their this week's trip itinerary. I need to go back. That's where they are this week. Hold on. Since this is an ongoing matter under the jurisdiction of law enforcement, it is up to the FBI's Miami Public Affairs Office to provide further details. Our focus is on supporting the family of our guest. So that's Carnival saying we're here for the family right now. We are not, you'll have to contact law enforcement if you or FBI for more. I did get it. I got an alert, Janet, that it was sent to me, and I did not. Janet's asking if I saw anything from at night last night. I did. Was that about the temper tantrum? Let me look. I will be on with Sebastian tomorrow night, right? I believe I booked several lives for this week, so go on and look. Oh goodness, yes. I will be watching. We will be sharing this.
Property. Well, the fence says no trespassing. I didn't come on the.
What is being taught? Are you talking about the 20-minute video? There's a 20-minute video out of within an hour them being furious of people searching. So we will be going over that. We will definitely go over that. Thank you for reminding me that it's out there. So Anna, we don't know what family members were with her. We don't know what caused the death. We don't know where she died on the ship. I am assuming in her cabin, since that's what security was guarding. We now know she passed away on Friday morning. See if we have any other things. The circumstances surrounding her death are unknown and have prompted an FBI investigation. She was on a cruise with her family when she passed away, and federal agents boarded to begin their investigation when the ship returned to Miami. No cause of death has been publicly released. The cruise line called the death mysterious and is cooperating with the FBI. Wow. Anna was a high school senior graduating in May, remembered by her family as bright and happy student with a promising future. She had recently taken a test to join the military and had a strong connection to her community. She died at 11:17 a.m. So more details are coming, my friend. I'm sharing them with you right now. I'm coming to the chat too afterwards to see what y'all are talking about. 11:17 a.m. They were very specific with the time. That's a little peculiar, you all. Okay. So if no one was with her, how did they know it was 11:17? That is really specific. AM on Friday. Okay. I am going to pause real quick and go to my chat. If you are in the bushes, thank you so much for being here. And I'm going to read. Hi, Holly S. Hi, Busy Mama. We don't know any details, Busy Mama, if she was rooming with herself, if she was staying with a family member. But now we hear a very specific time of death, 11:17 a.m. on Friday. Well, I don't know where I'm hoping. Now, the Carnival cruise called the death mysterious. Well, you get an 18-year-old who boards. It could be mysterious just because she was in good health. But it could also be mysterious of other things going on, which is why they were guarding that room till they boarded back in Miami. Very interesting. Now, there was a medical call for help. Hold on, there was a medical call for help. And then so everyone just thought there was a sick patient. Okay. So a death call on a ship isn't a standard term, but the codes for the medical emergency are Operation Bright Star and death is Operation Rising Star. If you have someone overboard, the signal is Mr. Mob. Now the crew did the people did hear the call for medical, but they never heard of that there was a death on board. Never hearing that there was a death on board. And I'm about to go to the chat. I'm just trying to make sure that I have this here that I wanted to give to you. Okay. See if there's any more information coming out before I go to the chat, because some of you want to talk about Sebastian real quick. Did you know there were 30 million passengers in 2019 alone? Wait, let me go through here. There's approximately 200 cruise ship deaths every year. With 30 million passengers in 2019 alone, this translates to about 1 death per 150,000 guests, or an average of 3 to 4 deaths each week. Most deaths are natural, resulting from heart attacks or medical emergencies. However, accidents, self-unalivings, and rare cases of violence contribute to the counting roll. Okay, so that is what we know so far. We now know 11:17 a.m. on Friday, traveling with her dad, grandparents, and other family members. It's a great question. Do we know if she was rooming with someone? We do not, my friends. Deanna says she's been on 2 Carnival cruises, no fights, nothing. Me too. I've been on a cruise, never felt scared, threatened, none of the above. Deanna says it's cold in Florida right now. And Raymond says it's cold in New York. Well, shocker there, right? And Holly S. said, some teens kept stealing jewelry repeatedly on the last cruise I went on, and they finally wound up in that jail. I think it's down below everything else on the bottom floor. Yes, it's way down. They say at the below deck. I'm looking for comments. Does she have any siblings or a mother Cooper? They just not answering that yet. They just haven't answered it. They're just saying the family. Someone said, Holly said, hi, I'm glad you're covering this. Carnival cruises can be questionable. Interesting. Well, I know I'm going to look at it a whole different way. We're actually planning a cruise. I hope you're done for winter, Raymond. I hope your job is, Raymond said he hopes he's done working for winter. He gets a few months off. I hope so too. Yeah, the very terrible news. They left for a trip to paradise and came home in their own purgatory. And that is just absolutely heartbreaking. May she rest in peace. May the family get answers. And if there's anything foul, nefarious, or someone responsible, will they find that out and bring them to justice? Just unbelievable. Okay, I am going to get Miss Holly's message up there, or excuse me, Miss Holly's. Raymond, thank you for gifting a membership. Please thank Raymond. He loves to grow the family. Thank him for your opportunity. We are actually having a members live Saturday. Woohoo! Please thank Be Kind. She also gifted a membership. And also, Maria, thank you for your 6 months of support to the channel. Okay, let's see what you guys are talking about with Sebastian. Her dad was on board, yes, and her grandparents. Her dad, her grandparents, and it said other family members, but they have not. Busy Mama said, I know some teens can drink at 18 in Mexico at the resorts, and I'm not sure about in towns. Oh, interesting. Now, the thing of it is, though, they were at a day at sea. Well, it doesn't mean they weren't drinking. It could have been drinking related. Deanna said 11:17 a.m. is probably when the cruise doctor declared her deceased. Great point. Thank you. That makes a lot of sense. That's probably when she was found and pronounced, Cece said. Very true. Okay, Raymond, you called CP out? Oh, Raymond, calling CP out. What happened? Whispering Wind says her 5-year-old granddaughter is more mature than CP. Yes, we're going to watch the video. I will share it with you. I'll put it out. I did know it was coming out. Yes. I just honestly hadn't checked to see if it was out, but remember they said they were going to release it. I just can't understand. Like, here we are, a family who wants answers. Anna Kepner's family needs answers. I can't understand within the first hour why they were trying to. I haven't listened to it, but the story is deter, fury, anger about people searching. Now, if you are in the first hour, what was going on at that property? What had gone on that property that they didn't want people to have an open, free roaming, like the bison I saw over the weekend? Let people in there free roam and find clues. I will tell you this. The fact that their child went missing, I'm not talking Seth, I'm talking step jerk. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, stepfather and the mother, and this is all allegedly in my opinion, rather than get out there and search and fight and bring awareness, they hid for 8 days and said, we don't want our house or our name out there. Boom, number one, something's wrong. Now we're hearing causing problems with people within the first hour who are trying to search for the missing child. Boom, number two, wrong. Billboards go up. We have a stepfather cussing people out, telling him to suck a baby D because billboards went up for him. Boom, you got a problem. You got a mother pleading the fifth, worrying about incriminating herself when her child's missing. Well, if you can incriminate yourself, then you know something or you did something. Boom, we got a problem. Once the sheriff who was active in the investigation, Sonny, he got it to the landfill. He talked about recovery. He talked about analyzing what they had found at the landfill and whether or not they were going to go back. Sonny Weatherford, the sheriff at the time, he mentioned Sebastian. It seemed odd to him that Sebastian went missing before the trash was picked up and reported missing after the trash was picked up. Sonny was on top of these things. And then what happened after Sonny passed away? Eric Craddock becomes sheriff. We haven't had one news conference, one press conference. Parents are running around like it's their best life. He's done nothing since Sonny died, talking to the public, anything, unless it's to debunk something that was leaked in the investigation, in my opinion, that he already knew about. Okay? So we got problems. If you look in some of those shadows, I showed you a video where there was someone standing there in the shadow. And I enlarged it for you. And I said, who do you think this is? Go back to that video. Maybe I'll bring it forward when we talk tomorrow night. I mean, to me, it's obvious who it was. I have several of you sending me photos that you believe you're seeing, and we're not accusing anyone. It's just what you think you're seeing in the photos. Law enforcement in uniform. That's really concerning. Am I saying law enforcement is standing there? No. But many of you think you see it in your images. Now, one person sent me an image that I thought I saw it as well. But we don't know because we don't know anything. But what I can tell you is he won't call in the marshals. If you are so busy running for sheriff, calling special meetings to get your raises, having spaghetti dinners like he had on the 6th, doing all his campaigning, second campaign, hasn't mentioned Sebastian's name since he campaigned last time, why not turn it over to the marshals? Why not give it to someone who will solve it? That's what most cops would do. They work together, they unite, because their goals are to bring someone home or to bring a victim to trial. But we unfortunately have a problem here where there's a law enforcement officer or several who that's not their goal, in my opinion. He just gave up. He's out campaigning, having noodle dinners, his own name on his shirt, not Sebastian's, running against himself. But that's a priority. Sebastian is not, in my opinion. He has not mentioned him. He's not doing anything for him. But he refuses to allow someone else to, even though the father has begged him. Even though he said, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, and I don't care. But he won't let a real marshal or someone who can actually bring Sebastian home do it. And you want to know why? Because if the marshals come in, this is my opinion, they will find him, and then they will know. We will know. Because like we talked about in the last video I did or live, Sebastian will tell the story or his body will. And I think, go ask, I'm going to challenge every single one of you. Go to your local sheriff, your local law enforcement. Tell them there is a sheriff who has not found a child in almost 24 months, has not spoken since the other sheriff passed away who was investigating the case. This one has not spoken, hasn't done a press conference. The father's on the corner with a microphone. He doesn't come out. He's campaigning. He doesn't mention him. He doesn't talk of him. He doesn't give updates on him. Tell your local law enforcement that. And then tell them he won't call the marshals, though, even though he won't do it. And I want you to listen to what they think. They're not going to tell you, well, I want you to listen to what they're going to say. We unite for a common goal and we finish those goals, is what I was told. We don't keep each other from solving the goals. We accomplish the goals for the victims. The one officer told me, remember, I'm in a new area, so I have new officers to talk to. He said he would be very concerned, even if he doesn't know the case, why he wouldn't want the marshals there. He said he would be wondering why the lead or whoever, the sheriff, wouldn't want the marshals there. If he's made it real clear, he's not going to do anything. Making it real clear, but won't let anyone else do anything. So what does that tell us, the public? You don't want to do it. You won't let others do it. So you don't want us to find something out. Whether it's who did something to Sebastian, someone helped hide something that happened to Sebastian, someone unalived Sebastian, someone trafficked Sebastian, but someone knows something because they know the marshals, they come in and they find kids. There ain't going to be some little game playing of Sumner County's little good old boys slapping asses. Sorry to be rude. When the marshals come in, the ass slapping stops. And that's why they're not being called in my opinion. Because they know the gig is up once the marshals hit this case. Not only is the gig up and Sebastian getting found, boy, oh boy, in my opinion, is a whole lot else going to explode. And one thing they're also doing is they're riding out the clock. The marshals will not get involved in Sebastian's case once he turns 18 years old. We are 13 months from that. They are running out the clock, so it's no longer an issue. So if we want the marshals to somehow get involved, we need to keep contacting that city attorney or that attorney's office that I gave you on our last live. Remember, for Ellen Greenberg, which is coming up this week on our show, Ellen Greenberg, Nancy Grace ended her show and said, I've never thought I'd tell you this, but if you have a tip, don't call law enforcement. Don't call the district attorney's office. Call the city attorney for the city attorney for that area. Not the city attorney. I'm saying it wrong. Excuse me. But I gave you all the number. It's McGuire for the area of Hendersonville. And that is who needs to be reported to about what's happening. His name is McGuire. I put the number up because They're running out the clock so the marshals don't have to come in 13 months. The marshals aren't coming because there's someone who's afraid. Because let me put it to you this way, and I'm sorry, you all, if you're in the bushes, yes, we sidetracked a little bit to Sebastian, and there's just some really good questions. Let me put it this way to you. Isn't she gorgeous? We're talking about Anna. If if Craddock's child, my child, your child, was missing and you couldn't find him, would you want the team called in that would find him? We all would. Now, why does Craddock think Sebastian's family doesn't get that, doesn't deserve it? Well, probably because part of the family's not interested, just like they didn't want flyers out. Just like they don't want people searching the first hour. Just like instead of worrying about Sebastian that first hour, they didn't want their name out there. There is a problem in Sumner County. And when you have a sheriff fostering the problem, feeding the problem, fueling the problem, instead of solving the crime, you got a problem. Now he's running again, and no one put a candidate against him. So dirty is as dirty does, in my opinion, and dirty will repeat itself. And I'm not calling anyone dirty. I'm just saying a statement. Another thing I brought up, because remember, I'm in a new area, new cops to talk to. I asked if you have a person who's a person of interest, last person with a child who went missing, and they give you one story, you interview them, they give you their story, but then you see them going all over news, social media, digital articles, and not one statement is repeated the same. Nothing's truthful. I asked, can they get in trouble for lying to police if they only gave you one story, but you see them lying all over? Yes, they can be. They can be called in. You get to the bottom of their story, find out of who was lied to. Are you lying to the public, or were you lying to us? And we need one story. It's a huge red flag. A huge red flag that a parent isn't telling possibly the same story they told law enforcement, and definitely isn't telling the same story twice. Most investigators would have arrested. And I thought, I was like, I thought so. Why that? Because I feel like we're being gaslighted from Sumner County. You didn't see that. You didn't hear that. There was no car there. It's like we're being gaslighted. They all watched it. They all saw it. They all listened to it, but they don't want us to think we saw it, listened to it, and heard about it. They're gaslighting us. That's not a people with flashlights. That's a trash truck. That green hoodie. Come on, we guessed them within an hour, talked to them, and they even had the sweatshirt on. You guys are crazy. That had nothing to do with it. Yes, that hoodie person was hanging out at a car of a missing child that's never been seen since, but come on. He's gaslighting us. Absolutely gaslighting us. He does the same thing to his community. Rape's a strong word. You're going to call that snuggle struggle. Because guess what? That's daring anyone to come through that's basically saying, if you want to come through the door, I'm going to say that statement to you and shame you if you're a victim. Gotta be rubbing elbows with lots of crazy people to be talking like that, in my opinion. Oh, eat a biscuit. If you're going to commit a crime, eat a biscuit. No one gets arrested mid-biscuit. It's all a joke to him. And so is Sebastian. And I hate to say that to you, but he is. Because someone's involved somewhere. Someone knows something. Someone's hiding something. And someone's contributing to the crime by not solving it, not investigating it, not talking, not being honest. We don't know who they all are. But that's why the marshals aren't coming in. Marshals don't play games with the good old boys. They solve the crime while the good old boys are eating their donuts. Okay? So we have 13 months to get those marshals on this before he's 18, please contact, let me get you the name. Let me get you the name. It is Robert E. McGuire, and he is the United States Attorney for the Middle District of Tennessee. Robert E. McGuire is the United States Attorney for Middle Tennessee. That is who can talk. That is someone that Nancy Grace recommends. If you can't call law enforcement with information, you can't call the DA. Because in the Ellen Greenberg case, we're dealing with the same thing, and I'm bringing that case to you. Can't call there either because they're pressuring medical examiners to change the manner and cause of death. So she suggested you call the city attorney. I'm sorry, United States Attorney. Forgive me to keep saying city attorney. United States Attorney for the Middle District of Tennessee. She suggested it for Ellen Greenberg. So I'm suggesting, since we're dealing with some of the same stuff, I'm suggesting we do it for Tennessee for Sebastian. Because we have about 12 months, let's say, to get the marshals on this. Robert E. McGuire. Let me get his contact information for you, and I'll share the tab. Robert E. McGuire, contact us. There is his number, his address, his email address. If you would like to contact him with information, please do so regarding the Sebastian Rogers case, because we cannot, once he turns 18, the good old boys got what they wanted because the marshals can't come in. Thank you, Raymond, for contributing another membership gift. Please thank Raymond if you've received it. Raymond, that's so generous. So let's contact this person. Give them everything we know. All of us contact this person. Because I'm done being gaslighted. I'm done being told we didn't see flashlights in the backyard. I'm done being told Green Hoodie, there was nothing going on there. Okay, quit letting him gaslight us and let's get the marshals out there. Because you know what? He can go ahead and have his campaign, wear his name with his shirt on it, campaigning for himself instead of a missing child. Let him have that. Let him. Who needs him, right? Let's just go to the Middle District of Tennessee, to their attorney, United States Attorney. Let's start telling him what's happening. Get the marshals out there. Then Craddock doesn't have to deal with the marshals. The marshals can come out, find Sebastian. Sebastian will tell us the story, or his body will, and heads are going to effing roll. And I don't normally cuss, but I'm tired of it. I get worked up here with these people. You want to bring that name, Craddock, forward to me? Him and Proudfoot. I hope when this is over, if any of them were involved, that they pay the main price. Anyone who hid anything. So I'm just really devastated that he's letting TikTok, the clock run out. Then it's going to be, oh, well, they don't come in once they're 18. So please call this city, saying it again, United States Attorney's Office, Robert E. McGuire. They can help when you've got problems in Ellen Greenberg's. That's who Nancy Grace said to call, because you couldn't call the DA because he's in on it. You couldn't call law enforcement because nothing's happening. They're trying to put pressure on a medical examiner and do all of this stuff, call it a self-unaliving when she had 20 stab marks to her body and back. It makes no sense, but someone's covering for someone. So she said, go to the United States attorneys for that area. And that's what we're going to do. because something's wrong in Sumner County too. Something's wrong with the investigation into Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. He will be 17 next month. And once he turns 18, the marshals won't come. So let's not let someone do us dirty and do Sebastian dirty and let that clock tick out. If you are here, I'll ask each and every one of you to contact Robert McGuire. We're going to go over it again. I think I have Sebastian down for tomorrow night. Yes, tonight is Summer Wells. I do want to tell you, it is going to be very triggering. I'm warning you now. I'm going to be bringing forth some more information from a neighbor. I'm going to be bringing forth some visions that Reverend Donna had. Reverend Donna is the ones whose visions led to Tylee and JJ, who were unalived by Chad Daybell and Lori. So this is going to be a very good live tonight. I want to keep you posted. One thing now that we know is that Anna, dear sweet Anna, I would like to end with Anna. Just a reminder tonight, 7 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Utah time. We are going to be talking about summer. This is a do not miss. This one is a do not miss about summer. It really is. Hold on, I'm trying to get to you. Do not miss tonight's about summer. It's not pleasant, but I want to talk about it. And some things really made sense what was said, because it made things that I had heard 4 years ago click a little bit. So much going on. Rest in peace, Anna. May the family have the answers they need. Of course, not answers they would ever want to have. She had her whole life ahead of her. She had goals. She had plans. May we find out what happened to her, and if there's anything that was nefarious or foul against her. Oh my goodness, Robin, I'm so glad you're in here. You all, I want to stop for a second. Robin, I know your appeal. The appeal is Thursday. I went on Grand Rapids to try and find out what time, and I know you told me and where it would be streaming, but can you tell me again? Because we are going to be here for you. I am going to live stream the appeal. Robin's daughter's monsters trying to get an appeal again, or is appealing, wants to be treated as a juvenile. I hope you don't have to work tomorrow, Raymond. Well, High Shining Star wants, because he did this as a juvenile and laws have changed, wants parole. Robin's little baby girl, Nicole, 5 years old. I've had her on the channel. Many of you know our dear sweet Robin. His life was taken by Jason. Jason now wants to get out. So that is this Thursday, the 13th. And Robin, where can we watch it? Because I will show it here. We will gather as a family for you. I know you said it was going to be streaming on YouTube. I don't see Robin in here. Is Robin in here, y'all? I don't see her. Okay. But Robin, if you're in here, please email me, crimetimebuzz@gmail.com, and give me the time and where we can live stream, because we would like to support one of our own, you, our dear sweet friend, and be there Thursday and praying that they are not going to consider this, that he remains where he is. She was in here? Okay. Darn it. If you all see her today out on the streets, will you tell her to please email me, please? Because I do want to know. I'm going to email her too, but I just want her to know, because I want us to gather for her. It's a hard thing. We all watch true crime, and this is happening with one of our own. We'll lift each other up. That's right. So I don't care if there's 5 of us in here who can make it. I want to be here for Robin. So I will try and find out, and I will put it in the community post once I have the information. And it is this Thursday. I do know that. I did find that from what Robin told me. So it is this Thursday. Yes, prayers for Anna Kepner's family. Gosh, it's just so much, right? Oh, she got a membership too? Oh, good. Thank you, Raymond. Today she did. Oh, good. There's Robin. So MCOA at 10 a.m. MCOA. MCOA. What is MCOA, love? So 10 a.m. Michigan time, right? Okay, hold on. Let me write this down. Let me just take a picture of it. MCOA. MCOA at 10 a.m. Wonder what Robin, can you tell us what MCOA is? So I will put that in community posts. So it's 10 a.m. Michigan time, apparently. So probably 8 a.m. my time. Michigan Court of Appeals. Thank you, dear. And they're live streaming it. They're live streaming it. Okay, well, I'm going to find all that out. I'm going Michigan Court of Appeals. Okay, thank you, my friends. I will be on that. You got a link for Zoom, so you'll be watching it. Do you know if they're live streaming it? Probably not if there's a link for Zoom. Darn it. Okay. Well, you all were probably still going to gather during that time just so we're here. Robin, we'll probably still be here at that time. So if you need us, okay, you'll be watching it at that time. Okay. Well, we're going to gather because we want to be here if you need us, hon. So, wow, so much going on in this world. Let's prayers up for everyone, for all the missing, all the who need healing, who hurt people, all who are searching, who can't find them. Prayers up, strength of spirit for all of you, safety, understanding. YouTube on the 14th. Thank you. So we will be watching it on the 14th. Do you know what time on the 14th it'll be on YouTube? We'll be praying for you, my friend. I'll let you all know what we're going to do regarding Robin, but we are going to be here for Robin. Okay. Joanne, hello. So much going on. As we now know, Anna was called deceased at 11:17 a.m. on Friday, the 7th of November. Returned to Miami in a body bag on the 8th. The FBI boarded the ship, and they are investigating. The Carnival Horizon people called it a mysterious death. They had guarded the door of her room from the time they found her till they got to Miami. I'm sure she was already taken to the cruise morgue, but they were guarding it because you never know if it's a crime scene, right? What I will tell you is that's security. Those aren't even law enforcement. Your security on the ship is not law enforcement. You got a lot of security on there, and they knew to guard a scene in case it became a crime. But yet, Sumner County didn't know how to put crime tape up around a home where a little boy went missing. They didn't have that wherewithal. What if this becomes a crime? No, even security guards know how to do that. That is why I'm so concerned about the case of Sebastian Rogers. Why was protocol not followed? Why were steps and standards not followed? And why were they not followed with confidence? Most who don't follow it worry about losing their badge, getting demoted. Why is there that confidence that we can act like this? Why does Katie Proudfoot have so much confidence? The mother who doesn't speak about her son or to her son or to the alleged people who have her son. The mother who allegedly sat at a luncheon with two content creators, telling them one allegedly recorded it, saying she hadn't seen Sebastian's godmother since before he was murdered. Why isn't she emotional? Why isn't she worrying who's beating the hell out of him or doing whatever they're doing today? That could be happening. Could you eat a meal worrying that? I couldn't. Could you buy a reptile, another thing with living breath and air? No. So I think she knows something, obviously. It's upsetting. When that Mexico ransom came in, we never heard from her. She didn't even get on one of the YouTube channels she's close with and hang out with them while waiting to hear. Nothing. They were in Disney World. So, Michigan Court of Appeals live stream. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I will look at it. They have a YouTube channel. Thank you, my dear. So there's just a lot going on. We have an arrested Michael Vaughn's case. I am covering Michael this week. We got a lot of cases we're covering this week. Michael is going to be this week also. Ellen Greenberg, Amy Bradley, Robbins Appeal, Sebastian Summer. And we're going to help find Dolce Alaves, little girl who disappeared. Law enforcement needs some help. So we got a lot stuff coming up. Most also Thursday is we'll be thinking of you, Robin, while you're watching your Zoom. We'll hear from you. We'll be looking for updates. We'll figure out how to gather as a community best for you. Yes. And then also Saturday, our dear sweet mod, Be Kind to Everyone, aka Whispering Winds, will be getting married. Congratulations, my friend. We wish you nothing but love, happiness, and the best weekend, and then a wonderful honeymoon where you're going. And we will miss you, but we are so glad something positive is happening in your life. We wish you the best. Robin says, all the lies I'll hear. I know, sweetie. I know. I just, and like you talked about before, Robin, with Jason, he doesn't show remorse. He had his attorney speak for him. He's not showing remorse. He needs to talk and speak. And Michael's case is a hard one, Cece. I went out to Fruitland for that one on the year mark and was standing right next to where they were digging 4 months later. So I was at the RSO's house, and that was right next to the Wondrous house. So my heart was just going crazy beating when I saw that. Robin, you are part of our family. We are a family, and we are going to do everything we can to get you through this, sweetie. The best we can. Michael's case is horrible. One of my local sources reached out to me and said, Jaye, when it goes to trial, you're coming out there, and, I might come out there for a few days for Michael's trial. I don't even, I want to hear what they did to him, but I don't want to hear it. That motive is she wanted a child. No, sorry. I'm sorry, I can't read that. Hey, release a lot of info on little Michael. I don't know what that means. Hey, release a lot of info on little Michael. Yeah. Well, we'll get a lot of information. I believe they have to extradite Stacy back here. They're all in jail. I mean, she's in jail Sarah's in jail in Piatt County. One of my local sources sent me something about where Brandon is in jail. I mean, they're in jail, you all. So love you back, my friend. We're so happy for you and your wedding. So, it's a mess there. It's disgusting. The thing that bothered me so much is and I know it's so common, but when Stacy was asked on that leak phone call that Brandy leaked, did you bury him with the duct tape over his mouth? Jeez. Those are the kind of things that put visuals in our heads, right? Whose live was it? Be kind. Whose live was it? You couldn't watch the live yesterday. You had to walk away. I want to know what live you're talking about. I'm waiting before we hang up. I want to see what we're talking about. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Thank you for letting me know. Yes, it's absolute. Was more information released? WZZM will be in the courtroom. Thank you. Be kind to everyone. Did we get more details of what they did to him? Yeah. Okay, you all. Well, thank you so much for being here. Please join me in about 3.5 hours, 4 hours for Summer Wells. Very upsetting information that came out. Obviously, we can't verify it, but it is from someone who's been helping law enforcement. So, prayers up for everyone, all the missing, all the loved. I mean, we've got to bring them home. We have to get control over this. Our children are missing. They're being trafficked. They're being unalived. They're unaliving themselves because of being extorted. Let's pray there's change. Who, Cece? Who did they read them out loud? All of you have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you so much for letting me know. I will go back and watch on what I missed about Michael. All of you take care. I will see you later this evening. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. And until then, please keep keeping on and know exactly who's around you. Talk soon, my friends. Robin, you're on my mind. You're in my prayers. And we are with you in spirit on that Zoom call. And we will be here to talk and figure it out. And I will let you know. Yeah, PNW or something. I know who you're talking about. Yes. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much. Prayers up. May Anna Kepner's family have answers. May Summer's family have answers. Sebastian's family, Amy Bradley's family, Robin's daughter's monster stay behind bars, and everyone else we're thinking about right now. May we please bring peace to the victims, justice to the victims, and peace to the families. Good to see you all, and I will see you later on this evening. Keep keeping on, my friends. Talk soon. Rest in peace and prayers to the Kepner family.